Another point too, you know, when we look at the tracks we play in New Zealand nowadays, Tony, and I was looking back through the history of our game, most prominently Carlaw Park, and we're playing on heavy ground a hell of a lot. New Zealand used to actually, or Auckland teams would have advantages when overseas teams would visit. When you think of the Warriors playing nowadays, well, they never play in heavy ground, never in mud, and we wonder whether, you know, by sure, it's nice to have a good track, but might have taken away some of the advantages that we had for decades.
You're dead right. It is an advantage to have a heavy track and be used to it. I remember being in, when I was playing at Newcastle, we used to call it the mine pit, because we used to make forwards from opposing teams turn around, and we used to dig a big square patch out of the field and fill it full of water. So, you know, it's just the way it is here in New Zealand. I know that travelling NRL teams don't like coming here for weathers like it is today. So whoever can make the best of the conditions here today is going to come out on top.
Well, it's important the Tigers keep solid here, because we'll make their task in the second 40 that much more difficult if they concede a four-pointer. There's 1 minute to play. It's been a very strong first half performance by Rusty Matua's Marlin men. Can they keep their heads down? This is a strong push too. It's Willie Laffle. He'll play the ball with just 40 minutes to play here in the first half. Close to the line. Marlins now, ball down. Well, Aaron Woodhouse would love to get that opportunity again. And Nork and Damon trot control, so we'll pack the scrum down.
And that'll be the half. Dale will just, I think at half-time, both coaches will be talking about how important it is to secure and get to the back ends of set to six. This is the half-time hooter goes. But that 16-point lead, that first 20 minutes for the Manurewa Marlins, when they're completing at 75%, is invaluable leading into the next 40.
16-0 at the halftime break. It's the Marlins over the Tigers in the Fox Memorial Championship, live on Māori television. Stay with us. Second half coming your way right after this.
What are we doing? Are we talking through tries? 15 seconds. 15 seconds, brother, and we're out of the commercial break.
But a day when sausages ruled. We're at East Coast Bay's home ground of the Barracudas, doing the good old Vizzo out there and keeping league fans chomped up with good old sausages and onions. Way to go, guys. 16-0's the scoreline. Wish you could be here with us.
I'll tell you what, it's been a lovely day down here too. Apart from the clouds just parting there for the last 10 minutes, I think it's looking quite good out there on the east. Is where the rain's coming from. We might see it just settle down a little bit.
And a bedraggled Tarahi Maipi's been out there keeping tabs on what's been going on half-time. HCA, you warm enough?
Kei te pai ahau e hoa, kei te pai. Engari kei runga noa te tīma Manurewa Marlins I tēnei wā tō rātou kahakia ki a rātou anō. Me te mea hoki, ko tā rātou hia kia oti tika I ngā mea e tika ana kia mahi. Koena te mea tuatahi tuarua, ko tā rātou kia whana hōhonu te pāro, nā kia tere anō hoki ngā mea e whaiwhai haere ana I te pāro kia pēhi ai te tīma Northcote Tigers ki roto pū I tō rātou whire. Engari mō te tīma Tigers ko tā rātou ki tā Kenny McIntosh, ko tā rātou waiaro. Me uru tonu ki roto I tēnei kēmu, nā kia tika te waiaro, ka tika te kēmu. Manurewa Marlins, they were pumped up in that half-time break. They want, the key word is that we want to do the simple things the best. That's what's going to determine the outcome of this game. Also, they want to employ a deep kicking game as well as chasing. There's no point in having a good kick if nobody's going to chase, so they want to up the ante and lift their enthusiasm in the second half to keep the Northcote Tigers pinned back. Whereas Kenny McIntosh's very simple message is all about attitude. Just once they get their attitude right and they get themselves psychologically into the game, everything else will follow.
Thanks, Tara. Here's Kenny McIntosh. Been a hugely experienced player and contributor to the Auckland League scene. That's Wani Roberts. A bit disappointed that he couldn't control the pill, and now the Marlins take a seat on the halfway line. Yeah, the game is there for the winning, and certainly as far as a confidence boost is concerned, Kempe, you know, it's really important for the Marlins to get up. We know that the Northcote team knocked over Otahu, so even though they haven't travelled so well on the table this year, the Marlins, by knocking over one of the teams that have already beaten the competition leader, then you're starting to think that you're well capable as the Marlins make a scintillating break there through the 9 to the 2. Vince Fatu's got 2 to beat, and then he's pushed from behind to get over the line. I'm not sure he got it down. Referee says, Kaone held up. Good call, fine position for Hayden Price, and I think he made the right call.
Yeah, nice run from Alfred Williams there, making a break and splitting the Northcote defence up the middle of the ruck. Vince Fatu there, I thought he may have just gone in a little bit lower there to get over the try line here, but they have another opportunity out on the right-hand side if they can shift it.
There's the good play through the back door, and now it's into the Marlins 14. Rodney Heta will need to play the ball. Dummy half is Heta. That's him with it now. Works it to Iwapo, puts it in behind. Where are the chasers? Skinny in goal. It's dead before any of the runners could get to it. Restart on the 20, and the Tigers breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, he was a step ahead of everyone there. Jesse Iwapo, who just sees that the fullback isn't on, but this little break here from that small man, Alfred Williams, shows great pace here. Short Utter just hanging on for dear life in his second grab. Finds Vince Fatu in support. Just took the speed off him there, buried his head. He should have, and he would have gotten over to score the try, but just out on that right-hand side there, Jesse Uapu saw that there was no fullback, put the little kick through, just went a little bit too deep, could have got through.
Another advertisement, I guess, for Naked League. Well, I guess the runner wouldn't have got caught if he didn't have a jersey, but he did.
It's been I tell you now, Jesse Uapu has been a different player today.
Hey, there's the chip. Look, there's no one home. It's picked up with aplomb. Now for the Tigers as Tola gets the ball, keeps it alive. Where are the runners? There are the runners. Oh my goodness. The number 7, Mike Davis, been running off at the mouth after putting that one down.
A nice little kick there from that man, Jared Trott too, who had 3 support runners either side of him, had to stop, check, pick the ball up, but finds great support. Just have a look, he has to stop and check here when he picks it up, but still finds enough support there, and it's this next pass here where you should have given it straight away there, and they would have scored. But you're dead right. Davis putting that ball down won't be too happy.
Yeah, she was an open line, and a few opportunities of that nature have presented themselves so far today. Umbrellas at the ready. League fans loving the action here at the Barracuda's home ground. And a reminder too, Whānau, multi-television, bilingual commentary with our team, but if your preference is total Reo Māori, then join Kotuki Tibble and our good friend Hemana Waka, and you can catch commentary on the Te Reo channel, channel 59 on your Sky Digital. If you want to hear commentary of the games totally in Te Reo Māori. Tony and I certainly appreciate the whakaaro provided to us from Te Arahi Maiti. As learners of the language, picking up a lot of cues from him. Speaking of which, some of the positions here, I note, Tarihi, you might explain some of them. Kaido, the number 7s, 2 whāngai for your standoffs. When I refer to a standoff half in a game of rugby league, 2 whāngai. Kōrero mai anō e Tarihi?
Ko e tehi o e nei tūranga ko ta paina I e tehi ko te hanga o tā rātou too. For example, a lot of the positions have been taken from what they do on the field, hence the reason where the Māori terms come from. For example, 2 whāngai, which basically means to feed out your outside people. So, of course, that's a main job for a standoff, is to feed his outside backs. Again, another one is pouhere, which means a post, which ties onto something, which is the word for second row. Of course, in the scrum is that you get them hanging off at the back of the props when they tie into the scrum. So there's a lot of practical ways of how not only positions but also plays within the game, and that's where a lot of the Māori words come from to describe what's going on the football field.
Tenake, so it's not a transliteration of how the English is used, more a description of what the roles the players partake in. So, no, good stuff, Dowdy. Thank you. Here come the Tigers now. Important that they cross first in the second half. This man has been strong in the first, but just hasn't been able to get over the line. We're talking, of course, Damon Trott in jersey number 8. On it comes now, and through the hands of Mike Davis, but to a shallow runner. The offload ineffective for that reason. Close to the line, and here come the Tigers. That'll be their first try, surely. The number 16 is credited with it, Ian Hayes, and Hayes crosses in timely fashion for the Tigers to get themselves into the game.
Yeah, look, the Manurewa Marlins here carrying the football out. Don't need to carry the whole set of 6 out to get the kick in. They come up with the error right on halfway, allows the Northcote Tigers to come back into the good ball zone. And, of course, Ian Hayes here, just a simple pass off the dummy half, carrying it too strong for this Manurewa Marlins defence and going over to put the first points on the board for Northcote.
There's the little run. And really unstoppable, that close to the line. Good run from Ian Hayes. And just what the doctor ordered Tarihi.
Ai, tika tāwe, hua koena no te tehi piro hei arake I te tīma Northcote Tigers. Ian Hayes I tana taka tū ki runga I te whira mai te pai hihiri. Tino kaha tōna tākaru I te nuinga o te wā ko ia tērā e whāngai ana I ngā mea o waho atu I aia. Tata te piro I riro I tōna tīma mai te pāhi, engari mai tāna kaha o mai tau o wā I eke rātau kia kapo I te tehi hua. Mai tēnā nekehanga. Ian Hayes has been pretty impressive since he's come onto the field. A lot of distribution, which had almost got the Tigers across the line in the first half, but due to his running and picking out a one-on-one defender that close to the line, very hard player to stop, and he's been playing well.
That's Ian Hayes, your try scorer. Solidly built back rower. Got a good offload, and strong upper body, so he's able to use his fend. And he didn't need it that time around because he was running through the hole close to the line. The feed to him was clean, and that's all it was needed. 16-4 is the scoreline now as the Tigers give their supporters some hope. It was a sluggish first half performance by them, and Ken McIntosh would have been disappointed with it. But no doubt feeling some satisfaction after they score first in the second 40. Try scorer Hayes with the ball. Carrying it in 2 hands out in front. Making the opposition just a little cagey, I guess, wondering if and which way he will offload as the 12 is taken in the tackle blue jump.
Yeah, field position becomes really important here, Dale. Like I said, it's tackle 3 here. They're up to the 40-metre line already. Northcote probably only need to take 1 more in here and then get behind a kick as they do. Good play by Jared Trott. Just says this isn't where we want to play the football. There's some errors in Manurewa. We want to play it down in their half and tackle for turnover.
Offload favouring the Tigers, 6-4, and possession starting to even itself out now, although the Tigers have been forced to make something like 30 extra tackles, so just remember that's 5 sets of defensive work which can sap the energy from the players, but the Tigers with that try a few moments ago no doubt starting to feel that a turnaround is on the cards, and they'll be looking to jar the ball loose in these torrid exchanges through the forward packs. 40 metres out from the line now to play the ball now for the Marlins. Once again, this is Alfred Williams, who continues to impress. The tackle is made by a very confident Sam Poulet. Onto Paul decides to send it downfield. It's taken confidently at the back by the number 2. This is Viliami Tokiyavea. Hard to put away in the end. Glenn Campbell is assisted in doing so by Hedwini. It's the halfway line. This is Sean Louis.
It's becoming a real battle in the middle of the ruck, isn't it, Dale? Here with the backs just taken out of it because of the weather, but Ian Hayes there with an offload on the inside. He's just about got away with it there, but just found himself half through and half gap. Had plenty of support on the inside, but couldn't find the hands. It's that type of day as again the rain comes pouring down. But as you have a look at the replay here, Ian Hayes here finds himself there, just can't find the support coming up. They do want to try and get back into the game here and get some more points on the board.
I think if he had his turn again, he'd keep that Phil. It was a risky offload. Not necessarily a high percentage play, but nevertheless, as we've mentioned, fortune favours the bold. He had a go, didn't come up trumps for him this time around, but the Marlins look to turn things around as Vince Fatu is taking in the tackle of Sean Utter. Played back down to Trinit Pamatangi. I mentioned Trinit too often so far in the game, but play with one of the more unusual names in rugby league, Trinit. No offence by that. It's a nice name too, brother. Mr. and Mrs. Pamatangi had their reasons for it. There's the kick now, allowed to bounce, which can be very, very risky business. Jason Adama says quickly, not guilty, Your Honour.
He's got him for offside here, Hayden, with again a kick. It's the second time that the Northcote Tigers have let the ball bounce in the game, and they don't want to be doing that too many times, especially in this type of weather. It can go anywhere. But it's positionally here, they've both been trapped around the 50-metre zone as he plays the football on it. It's just important now that, you know, the options in the kicking game, if your kick's good and your chase is good, you're going to get something good out of it.
There's the ball lost by the Tigers, and thanks very much, Alfred Williams. Just joined us this afternoon for coverage of the action here on Māori television. Have another look here at the ball being jarred loose out of Ian Hayes, who's been involved in plenty. It's trying to get the offload.
That's exactly right, a loose carry, and he's just paid the price there. Both sides are struggling here for ball retention and field position. So, you know, valuable at the moment there. Play the ball again. I thought there was lost ball, but you're going to see a break made here by Northcote Tigers. This is where they need to get in now and just settle down and show a little bit of composure.
Composure is the word as Tony Tola searches for the hole shot. Kamareda comes back in, Tule is off. Songi Tupou off for the Marlins, and he's been replaced as well.
Good kick. What's he going to do? He's going to give it.
Well, look, the touch is in there. The Tigers say we're okay. Excuse me, I was looking down at my papers and I hardly even noticed it. In fact, the old compy's fogged up somewhat, so we're having a bit of a shuffle on here. But hey, take nothing away from the Tigers. That's what it's about in rugby league. It's hanging tough. It's just converting your opportunities when they come along. There was not much in it. That's my son in the front, and there's me and Kempy in the back. But one of your more unconventional commentary positions.
I'll tell you what here, and we touched on it before, if you can get a good kick in and get behind it with a good chase, that man Jared Trott has one of the best in the Fox, and Brandon Nixon here just changing the ball as hard as he can, and that's a fair try. He's just got there before the Manurewa Marlins players could get back here, but just having a look here at the touchdown, which the referee hasn't delivered, that we have here in the combi. Downward pressure, it just needs to be forced from downward pressure, but Nixon just showing the commitment to get there and get his side right back into this match.
Yeah, very much so, and we've got a call from our video director who's been around footy a long time, Robbie Neha. He says, mate, he got that in, so trust his call. the referee, as you say, you know, he's got to make the decision on the spot, and in the end, turned out to be the right decision. Now, I note that the two Trot boys are both left-handers. It's a little unusual. Well, I think it is. Here's Jared Trot from wide out, and just underneath as well. Hey, but they're still giving themselves a sniff. There's your try scorer, Nixon. Lots to like about young Brandon.
He's got some wheels on him, isn't he? But just a wonderful, you know, he looks like he's well out of it here, but he's just gone around the back of Vince Fatu there and got his hands to the football, just Paul Reed in D. But that's what you get in this type of weather. As you see, it's coming down in bucket loads here. Your kick game, your kick chase game, they become absolutely critical, and your position on the football field's important for that as well. You couldn't have a better bloke doing it than Jared Trot, I'm afraid. And of course, we will see more of that in this next 20 minutes.
We'll talk about turning around and coming home. The Marlins were down by 16-0 at the halftime break. They've scored 2 unanswered tries so far. The Tigers, and so the Marlins, no, they are in for a tough tussle in the last 24 or so minutes here at Freyberg Park. It's good defence though, the Marlins. Got muscling up after conceding 2 tries. Short side run again. Ian Hayes has terrorised them down the left. Frankie Podesi's there with assistance from Wilson Tafai. Close down Hayes, who plays it into the hands of Robinson. That one's gone forward. Penalty against the Marlins though. Number 12 never back to 10 metres.
Yeah, penalty starting to stack up against the Marlins here. 8-3 the penalty count to the Northcote Tigers. Again, it's just allowing that positional opportunity for Northcote to get down into the good ball zone. So let's just have a look and see whether or not they can get to the back end of it as the ball's starting to turn into a bar soak.
Here come the Tigers. Don't write them off through Steve Robinson. 10 to the right-hand side of the post. Into dummy half goes Tumanako Boyce, who feeds on and finds Jared Trot. No one home. He's even able to turn and come back towards the post to improve the position for the conversion. So the Tigers on the boil this time around, and the Marlins, well, they're in trouble.
Look, Kenny McIntosh has made some crucial changes to his football side at the last back end of the first half, and which has kicked on for him in the second half. That man that was in the picture, Jared Trot there, just taking the opportunity to shoot back down a short side and catching out the A and B defenders of the Manurewa Marlins. Just nice right foot, not much in it. But you know, you get this bloke in the correct field position, and he's going to make you pay, especially when the weather's like this.
No substitute for experience. He's been around a long time, Jared Trot. Have a look at this nice little run from Robinson. Robinson's taken, and then we'll see Boyce come in here, and he's got options. So goes. Well, look, there was nothing in that, and honestly, the number 12 is left there shaking his head. That's Anton Tusani, the vice captain. Really just outfoxed there by a Tiger.
Yeah, look, it's just caught too wide there. Tusani in that A position, which is what they call it in rugby league as a defender, but not getting enough there as Jared walks in here and should slot this. But, you know, again, just easily marched out of their own half with that penalty that Manurewa gave to Northcote. It's just allowing them these opportunities, which is to bring them back in the game. I don't know now whether that 16 points was enough for them, as the Manurewa Marlins have struggled, and the possession stakes are starting to even up as well here.
Tally, that's some serious rain there now, mate, but really it seems to have levelled these two teams out. 2 points in it now.
Tika tāwe, wā engari ko te rere kēputanga pēo o te tima Tigers. Kua rāt, ko ngā huarahi e whai ana e rātou he mea pau mo tēnei momo tākaro. Mo wēnei momo āhuatanga o te taiao, ki te kaha o te ua, e heke mai ana. Just saying with the Northcote Tigers, it's a great equaliser, the weather, but it looks as though that the Northcote Tigers are just playing better percentage football. The avenues that they're trying to run, and they're trying to take, are better, are more productive for this type of weather. They're not running as many 50-50 passes as the Manurewa Marlins. You know, there's also a little bit of room behind these big forwards in terms of a chip kick game, which we saw from Jared Trot. He's been a huge influence on this game since he's come onto the field. The thing I like about Jared Trot is that you're right, Dale, he's been around for a long time, but he seems to be one of those players, one of the very few that gets better and better with age. He's no spring chicken anymore by league standards, but he's a very, very talented football player.
and close to the line. He can use all of that experience. He's played residence footy, Barnacar, Māori, you know, and he's got a deft kicking game. His brother took over from him actually in the early exchanges, but now that he's on the field, what a luxury for Kenny McIntosh to have a talent like that he can use off the interchange bench.
He's going good, Jared. You know, back to again, Manurewa just their own worst enemies here. Ill discipline letting them down here in the third quarter. So, you know, it's just the type of field position that Jared Trott likes is what we're seeing here.
We'll talk about momentum shifts, and it's really swung in behind this Tigers outfit now. They've scored 2-3 tries, and they really look like they want to finish this one off in the last 20. Here's Jared Trott again, the cutout ball. Goes wide for Kamareda, shows it, wisely decides to keep it too. He was tempted to offload to Ata. Tony Tola comes in from behind and shapes up towards the goal posts. Into dummy half, Robinson. Robinson to the left and ball down again. Look, they are difficult conditions. There's no doubt about that, but Mike Davis will be disappointed as a couple of times he's put the ball down now in the second half.
If they could have that again, they would have gone to the right to Jared Trott. Just having a look again, he was exact same position as he was on the previous try there. He would have just been off his right foot again and would have scored down the, let's have a look here, just choosing to go to the open, but Jared Trott had that right-hand side of the football field organised. Davis here just not up to it, I'm afraid, today. 2 dead sitters that he's putting down. And Manurewa again struggling to get out of their own half.
Well, they're laying glass out in front of their pathway, aren't they? They're making it tough for themselves. The Marlins looks at just some sensible control. Said it before, grab the ball, wrap it up tight like it's your girlfriend.
You know what you don't see in this competition is a halfback yelling at his forwards. You know what I mean? Like in a game like today, you just get behind your forward pack and you say, you get there, you get there, you get there, lay the foundation for me, and then give it to me and let me put a kick in. Our halfbacks are just too quiet. They need to step up to the plate more.
Did you hear that, Stace?
Cut him out, that was Tiara, he Stace, not Dale.
Kia ora to you, Stacey, if you're watching out today. We've been watching you, buddy, in your corner too, mate. All right, through the middle we come now. This is Tumanako boys. As you can see, the big pads are just there, meaning 4 points is just there as well. And Steve Robinson had a go himself, turnover of possession. Don't know if he knew it was the 5th.
I'll tell you, Jared Trott is absolutely pulling what hair he has left out of that head of his as they go again for a glory shot when it should have just gone for him to just thread that ball through him for another set of 6.
So the Marlins need one of their players to lead from the front. Who will that player be? Or will they allow the terms to be dictated to them by this fast-finishing Tigers crew? Well, there's an advantageous penalty. Penalties at the moment, 10-4 in favour of the North Shore-based team. That, of course, being the Northcote Tigers. The Marlins most definitely down in what many call South Auckland, but what the mayor of Manukau City prefers to have us call Manukau City.
I was just going to say, I don't know why Jesse Oapu's kicking to that side of the football field. That was the long side, and we see the Northcote Tigers here just keeping the ball in. It's a pretty hard day to kick the football, especially if the distance isn't on your side.
Should be hung and quartered, mate. He's killing his teammates. So, I mean, that's the opportunity that they needed, Tully.
Man, I totally agree with you. He was right in front of me. Couldn't have been more than 12 to 13 metres away from this touch side, and yet he insists on kicking it to the other side. That is a coach killer.
Tigers, will they capitalise? Well, you get the feeling that they will. The big man's put away now, full of running the Tigers. Here they come, wind up, timing in Hayes. Through one, flung to ground in the tackle there of Po Manukau, but still dangerous times now for the Marlins. Crossfield kick, where are the chasers? Who is climbing? Ball down, play on. Still with the ball. The pass needs to be taken, it is, and it's a beautiful finish once again. Brandon Nixon is there.
Victor Smith with this pass, I can't wait to see it again. I don't know what he was trying to do, whether he was going to kick it or pass it or what, but he's pulled off one of the funniest passes I've ever seen on Māori television to that man, Brandon Nixon, but they just get themselves in poor position, the Manurewa Marlins here. It's a poor kick by Jesse. He knows better than that. I'm pretty sure he's going to learn from it. But just on the back end of it here, Northcote have had too many opportunities handed to them on a platter and are making these blokes pay.
Let's get another look here. It's the crossfield kick. It's
So that man
pretty
trot
sweet.
again.
So that's Atu who climbed for it. And that is one of the more unusual passes that you'll see. Hey, no matter how you do it, as long as you get the 4 points. But I tell you what, talk about...
It's one of those, I'm going to dummy and it's too wet and it comes out of your head type passes, you know what I mean?
Well, it was weighted nicely, wasn't forward. Nixon read it. And he's able to do the business. What a turnaround for the Tigers.
A lot of it's down to Jared Trotner's kicking game. He's just come up with some 50-50 options here that have either got him a repeat set or got them the points, and inevitably got them the lead. So you know, he's been an absolute outstanding his contribution today here at Froggy Park.
It's not one of his better conversion attempts. Here's your try scorer, Brandon Nixon. He's done some good work, the kid, today. Bit of a fresh-faced
baby-faced assassin.
Baby-faced assassin.
Remember
Tuta.
him?
Yeah,
Hey.
Tuta. You know, he's the only Kiwi ever from the Chathams.
Is that right? Brendan Tuta. Give back my TV, mate. He lent a TV off me in 1997 and he's still got it, mate. And I'll tell you where it is.
And
to the Chathams.
Tony, I know you're a league player, but he didn't lend it off you, mate. He borrowed it off you.
He'll be laughing, Toots, down there. Where he's watching this, he'll be laughing. I know you still got that tally, Toots.
Come on, Toots. Baby-faced assassin. Give back Tony's TV.
I'll tell you what, Paul Vorton did not like Brendan Tudor.
A prominent whānau in Taranaki kaupapa as well. From Ngāti Mutunga. Should be your neighbours from up a little bit north.
Yeah, wonderful league players too. Of course, the late Fraser Tuta down in Taranaki used to play for Western Suburbs, along with the Chadwick boys and Chappie Pine. Remember that name?
That's actually the nickname I've got for my daughter. He's expecting our first grandchild in a couple of months' time. So to my little tutor. G'day to you, Aaron. Hope you're enjoying the footy as well. Isaac. Got a little football player there too. He's a more boy on the way, mate. Muckle boy on the way.
Ooh, you're looking like a granddad too, son.
Yes. Different stage of life, eh?
That's your new nickname, Koro. They need to get to They need to get to the back end here, Manurewa. They just possession now has evened up right up here for Northcote, and they're actually going to be finishing the stronger here if they don't get to the back end of their set.
Just 2 points in it. Remember, both these teams had 2-point ball games last week. If you just picked up on it, the Tigers won 24-22 to pick up the Rooster and beat the previously unbeaten Otahu. On the other hand, the Manurewa Marlins went down by 2 against the fast-finishing Marist Saints. And at the moment, well, we're tied up tight. It's anyone's game. 11 minutes to play. Crossfield run from Tola. And was almost made to play, but play on, says Hayden Price. Some good defence from Po Manuko. And Tola will play the ball, only 5 out from his own line. Tigers, Marlins want them to spill the ball, so he's going to see a little bit more sting in the tackles.
Oh yeah, looked like a little bit of a slip there in the carry, but getting away with it is Ian Hayes. He carries it out to the 20-metre line, but Manurewa just getting a little bit of spark back in their game here, trying to tackle for a turnover. They need something here. Someone needs to come up with something.
Big Isaac. Ian Hayes is tackled by a bloke who looks like Isaac Hayes. We're talking about big Frankie Peresi. Downtown, hey, that's a bit of meat on that one. So now, Albert Short. Look at the Tigers defenders talk about a change in attitude. We approach the final 10 minutes of this intriguing encounter here.
He's been quiet today, hasn't he, Vince Fatu, after the last couple of games that we've seen. He's been devastating for the Manurewa Marlins. But today, just not bringing his A game to the football field. So, you know, he's got an opportunity here in the last 10 minutes to do something special. I'm pretty sure he's got plenty of petrol left in his tank.
That's it. Takes 3 defenders. Still can't put him to ground. He's big and tough, but what they need now is a try, a chip and regather, an aerial bomb, a split and go. There's the bullet pass wide and risky play, looking for Fatu, but it didn't come off, and young Aaron Woodhouse.
That's the difference between young bull, old bull. Jared Trott, same position, puts the ball into the corner with a kick chase. Aaron Woodhouse going for the big play. He had a little bit of joy in the first half and coming off second best there. So, you know, it's a learning curve for Aaron here. Give your team an opportunity. You know, the ball's a little bit slippery. Anything can happen, as we saw in the first half.
Now, I think it'd been a bit harsh on him, mate. If he had just a flat pass, had it been picked up by Fatu, hey, he was away. So he weighed up the options. I know what you're saying.
Look, I'll make the comment again. Fatu is not in the game today. I know he's been in the game for us in the last couple of times that we've watched him. He can come up with something big, but it's gonna be an error that decides the outcome of this game, and you just need to. And it's an old bull that's going to make sure that they're in the position to get it.
Hayes turns it. There's the turnover that the Marlins needed. Uapo is there, so they've got a set for themselves now. And here's a big chance. 8.5 minutes to play. First receiver is Wilson Tarfai, but he can't breach the defence, and as you can see, very difficult conditions for both teams here today. Uapo, no, that's in fact Songi Tupo, I think. He's back on the field. That is Songi Tupo. Great to see him out there and still enjoying his footy. He's a wonderful player.
That's a good carry. Quick play the ball.
Many levels, Songi Tupo, including Barnacard Cup. Here come the Marlins. That ball is left behind. The referee will call it a knock on. The Marlins will no doubt feel aggrieved by the decision. But, that's what many of the referees do now. If it goes to ground, pretty much they'll call it as a knock on. Although, when saying that, there are a couple that have scrambled around and Hayden's kept a good eye on and allowed to keep going. So, disappointment there for the Marlins, and Rusty Matua, no doubt, as the time starts to play against them, just down by 2. And 7.5 to play.
They're still in this one, Te Arahi, I think, the Marlins.
Tautoko anau I o whakaro e Kempi. I roto i ngā miniti e rima ko ta hake ko ahua ka hake anō te tima Manurewa Marlins nā runga anō hoki o rātou ngā pautukituki a Frank Peresi, Solomon Leota anō hoki ngā mea e para ana te huarahi. Kia whai wāhia Aaron Woodhouse mā ki te whakarite e te hi nekehanga engari kui nā te mate o tēnā tima. I agree with you, is that with the clock winding down, that especially on the back of powerful play from Solomon Leota and Frank Peresi in the last 5 minutes, they're paving the way for Aaron Woodhouse to give him a little bit more time and space. To this stage, they haven't come up with the goods, but they really muscled up in the last 5 minutes. Remember too that they dropped off the pace because they were down to a one-man bench the last time they played, when they dropped the game to the Barracudas on Māori television. At this stage, no injury concerns, so they should have a little bit more gas in the tank from that game to possibly come away with the last-minute victory.
Camarada is chastised for the high tackle. That will give the Marlins possession of the football. As you can see, they're still a long way from home, and I mean that figuratively as well.
Look to Jesse Uapo here to step up on that right-hand side of the football field with Henry Heta to pull something out of the bag.
Strong carry there from Peresi. To his feet now. What have the Marlins got left? Is there any gas left in the tank? Through the middle comes Leota, big solly. And he attracts 3 defenders as the defensive work becomes just a little bit more controlled and enthusiastic from the Tigers. 6 to play. Marlins. And they pull this one out. That was played at and knocked on, and so the Marlins will get the scrum feed. 10 out from the line, and what a wonderful opportunity for them, but have they got the patience and the composure to convert?
That's the era they were looking for down there. Tola just coming up with a lazy touch of the football here as the Marlins race to the scrum to try and stop the clock. There's still 5 minutes to go, but again, look to the right-hand side of the football field. Uapo and Heta are the go-to men in this set of 6.
retaining possession and controlling the football. This is the challenge for the Marlins as they use the backdoor play, and Albert Short gets the ball jarred loose. Exactly what they didn't want to happen has occurred.
Yeah, right idea, just unfortunately for Albert Short there. He's again leading with that football. We've spoken about this has been a part of their game in the second half, which has really let them down. They're all disciplined to allow Northcote to come out. But as we have a look at the replay here, Jesse just fighting Albert Short in the sweep play here. Just carrying the ball on his chest there. She's putting it out there in front for that error to occur. Really, he should know better than that. Just protect that football.
Trot gets the kick towards the western touchline here. And now it really is up to the Marlins. Can they jar the ball loose? They'll be so disappointed to have had that opportunity 10 up from the line and to turn it over in the first tackle. It's just absolutely tough on Rusty Matua to get out to a commanding lead, concede 3 or 4 tries and then be facing a 2-point deficit at the back end of the game. Hugely disappointed for the Marlins. Tony Tola pulled down in the tackle of Liota. Songi Tupo helping out. Short ball onto Davis. Davis now to Sean Louis.
Probably just dribble it in here.
Play it here and onto Davis. He tries the dribble. There's the try that will seal the game for the Northcote Tigers. And what a comeback it has been for them. Scored out wide there. I think it's Wani Roberts has come up to profiteer from the little kick through from Mike Davis. You read it well on Psychic Camper. You did it again. It was either going to come off the boot of Trot, this time off Davis. Little falter at the back, and that's created the opportunity. And Wani Roberts wraps it up for the Tigers.
Yeah, look, conditions will tell you that it will come down to an error. Unfortunately, they didn't pounce on that, the Manurewa Marlins, when Tola did exactly the same in the opposite half of the football field. But that man Davis made up for a couple of ordinary errors earlier on in the game with a wonderful little kick that he thread through the line for that man Robert to go over and seal this game. And a wonderful comeback it was too from that Northcote Tigers. Kenny McIntosh, well done.
Wani Roberts, as I mentioned, with connections down in Tainui and in the north as well. He benefits from a little mistake. It was a tough half volley attempted pickup, but with the clock running down, no real alternatives there as well for Albert Short, but fast pouncing Tiger finishes it off. Kenny McIntosh be pleased now, but he would have been disappointed at the half-time break. Good finish, and Wani's played a good game, and that's waved away. It will make little difference. So 22-16 the scoreline.
He'll look back on this Te Arahi, Rusty Matua, and just say, look, if we can play that first 20 football for longer periods of time, we are going to get away from teams as opposed to allowing teams to come back on us. But Kenny McIntosh obviously said at halftime to his troops, just be patient. You're going to get the errors. They've been doing it week in, week out, and that's exactly what happened. The all discipline of Manurewa showed through that second half and allowed Northcote to come back with the win.
Tika tā, Kempi. Koina no hoki te rerekētanga ki wainganui ngā tīma kai te taumata, ki e rātua ngā tīma kai te tā more o te tepu i tēnei wā. Ko ā rātou waiaro mea ā rātou kēmu i ngā miniti whakamutunga o te kēmu koina, te tino rerekētanga. I can't agree with you more, Kempi. Having a look, that's pretty much the main difference between the teams that are in the top 4 and the teams like the Manurewa Marlins who aren't there at this stage. It's important to get off to a good start, but the difference between the Tigers, the teams like the Otahu Leopards, when the game really counts, when it's on the line, you know, they come up with the big plays and they make the right decisions. It's a lot to do with attitude, it's a lot to do with discipline. Fitness comes into it as well. But you know, these teams, hopefully, with Rusty Matua, with the horses that he's got in this team, they can trouble any team in this competition, but you know, they're not going to be a genuine threat unless they can, in pressure situations, they can maintain their composure and make good decisions.
Tēnā koe Tari, it's been a pleasure working with you this afternoon as we count it down, although in the half minute that we do have left, a converted try will draw things level. So we'll ride it home with the Marlins this time around. Changed angle, back up on the inside. Will the Marlins pull off a sensational draw? Remember, they have to get the conversion as well, so difficult proposition. But stranger things have happened in the great game they play in heaven. Here it comes, wide we work now. And the Marlins, hot stepping. Nothing else to do. As the clock counts down, just a few moments left. There it is. The offload is unable to be delivered, and the curtain comes down on the smash.